Okay, this is the second video on the transportation model. In the first video, you have learned two steps to solve the transportation problem. The first is to determine the initial solution or the feasible solution, where you have three methods to use to determine the starting solution. The first is northwest corner. So it is the simplest method where you have to start from the upper left corner and then move either down or to the right until stop at the lower right corner. And then the second method is least cost rule, where the logic is very simple. You have to start from the least cost and then the second least cost next until all the demand are satisfied. And then the third method to find the starting solution is Vogel approximation method. In the Vogel approximation method, you need to calculate the penalty first, for each column and each row, and then you need to find the largest penalty and then implement least cost rule. And you do it until all demands are satisfied also. So we have three methods to find the starting solution or initial solution. And after that, we need to continue the algorithm to determine the optimum solution. So this is the topic for today's meeting. As you can see, to determine the optimum solution, we have two steps. As you can see from here, step number one, of course, since transportation model is a part or special case of the linear programming model, then the step to determine optimum solution is similar to the regular simplex method. But for transportation algorithm, it's been simplified, so it's easier for us to get the optimum solution. Okay, step number one is to use the simplex optimality condition to determine the entering variable as the current non-basic variable that can improve the solution. If the optimality condition is satisfied, then stop. Otherwise, we go to step two. Step two, determine the leaving variable using simplex feasibility condition, and then change the basis and return to step one. So you see that the iteration is repeated until what? Until we found the optimum solution, until the optimality condition is satisfied. So but we don't need to use the regular simplex method, because transportation algorithm is simpler. So we're going to discuss about that in the next slide. Okay, so here step number one is to determine the entering variable. So that entering variable is done by computing the non-basic coefficient in zero using method of multiplier. So in the method of multiplier, associate the multipliers UI, I refer to the source, and VJ, J refer to the destination. I refer to the source, row, while J destination or column of the transportation table. And we will implement this formula for each basic variable, UI plus VJ equal to CIJ. And then to solve the equation, the method of multiplier call for arbitrarily setting any UI equal to 0 and then solving the remaining variable. Usually we will set the U1 equal to 0. So I will explain to you using the example. Okay, so let's take a look at this example here. If you take a look at the answer, of course, this initial solution is found using the northwest corner rule because it starts from x11 and then stop x34. Yeah, so this one is northwest corner rule. And here we need to identify which one is the basic variables and which one is the non-basic variable. Basic variable are the variable that has the value. Yeah, so on this example, basic variables are x11, x12, x22, x23, x24, and x34. And the remaining variables are non-basic variable. Okay. So here, based on the previous slide, we know that for basic variable x11, x12, x22, x23, x24, and x34, we will implement the formula of ui plus vj equal to cij. So for example, x11, x1 mean u1 plus v1 equal to c11. C11 is here 10. Okay, and then in the beginning we always set u1 to 0. Then if u1 0, then automatically v1 is 10. Then you can continue for x12. x12, so the formula is u1 plus v2 equal to ci2. ci2 is 2. u1 is 0, automatically v2 is 2. Yeah. The same also you do for x22, x23, x24, and x34. Okay. Once you done with the calculation, then you get all the value of ui. In this case, there are three sources. That's why until u3, u1, u2, and u3, and then v, because we have 4 destinations, then we have 4 v. And that's why v1, v2, v3, v4. Yeah. So this is the aims of why we need to use ui plus vj equal to cij for basic variables, because we want to identify the value of u and v. Okay. After we get this value, yeah, from the basic variable, then we continue to non-basic variable. Yeah. Based on the table, we see that the non-basic variable is the variable that has no value. x13, x14, x21, x31, x32, and x33. Okay. For non-basic variable, the formula used is different. Yeah, you see here, for non-basic, we need to implement this formula ui plus vj minus cij. While for basic variable, we implement ui plus vj equal to cij. Yeah, non-basic is not equal to, but ui plus vj minus cij. Okay, so let's see the example of x13. x13 means u1 plus v3 minus ci3. Yeah, the value of u and v you can refer to the previous slide. Here, the value of u1 0, v3 is 4 plus 4, then minus 20. You can see from here, 1, 3, 20, this one, yeah, the cost. So minus 16. You do also until 33, yeah, and this is the result. Okay. From this, we can check the optimality condition, whether the optimality condition is satisfied or not. From where? First, you have to understand that the problem here of transportation model is about minimization. Yeah, so to minimize the total cost. If the objective is to minimize, automatically the optimality condition is satisfied if no positive value. Yeah, you can see here in the calculation, if no positive value, then automatically the answer is already optimal. But if you notice in the table, we still have 3 variables that have positive value, which is x14, x21, and then x31. Okay, so it's not optimum yet. Okay, if it is not optimal yet, then we need to determine the entering variable. Okay, since the context of the problem is the minimization problem, so the entering variable is the variable that has the largest positive value. So x31 is the entering variable. Okay. Okay, so this is the first step. You determine the entering variable. So here, yeah. So you later in the exam you don't need to write this, yeah, because we already highlight in the previous this one we already highlight that x31 is the entering variable. Okay, after that, after we determine the entering variable, then number 2 is to construct the closed loop. The closed loop that start and end at the entering variable. Okay, how to construct the loop first? Loop consists of connected horizontal and vertical only. So no diagonal. And then number 2, each corner must coincide with basic variable. And then alternately, you have to add this, subtracting and adding, yeah, in the loop. Yeah. So that is, and the next. Okay. So let's see here. In the previous one, we have identified the entering variable, which is x31, the yellow cell here. So now we will make a loop, construct a loop, closed loop from x31 and then end at x31 also. Remember, the line must be vertical or horizontal only. So from x31, move to x34. Remember that the arrow have to visit the basic variable. That's why from x31, x34. And then next is move up to x24. Yeah, to the corner of basic variable. And then move again to x22. Yeah. And then move up again to x12. And then x11 go back to x31. Yeah, you see, this is the closed loop. Okay, so no horizontal, no diagonal, and must connect to the basic variable. Okay, and after that we add the plus minus symbol. At the x31 is the plus, and then next is minus. Alternately, plus minus plus minus. Okay, yeah. After we construct the closed loop, then we can determine the value to enter the 31, yeah, cell x31 with what value, how much or how many. So to determine this, we need to focus on the uh, negative sign here. X11 negative sign, yeah, x22 and then x34, yeah. Later in x11, x3, x22 and x34 will be subtract by certain value, and we need to make sure that these cells not become the negative. Yeah, so minimum is 0. We focus on only on the negative, yeah, 5, 5, and 10. We need to select the minimum one. Yeah, so we need to select 5. So x31 we will add 5. X34 we will subtract by 5. 24 add by 5. 22 subtract. X12 add. X11 subtract. Yeah, so here 5 is the answer. Okay, and then after that here, yeah, x31 plus 5. Yeah, so later the value at x31 cell is 5, and then x34 minus 5, so becomes 5. X34 becomes 5. X24 plus 5, so becomes 10. X22 minus 5, so becomes 0. X12 plus 5 becomes 15, and then x11 minus 5 becomes 0. So we have two basic variable that reach 0, which is x11 and x22. Yeah. Then we need to determine the leaving variable. Leaving variable is the basic variable that becomes 0. In this case, we have two, x11 and x22. So we need to select one. For example, in this context, we arbitrarily choose x11 as a leaving x11 as a living variable. Automatically x22 we need to put the value even though 0. Yeah. Okay, after we get the table, new table, don't forget to calculate the new cost here. Of course, the new cost will lower than the previous one. Okay, so this is the result as you can see. X31 becomes 5, and then 34 becomes 5, 24, 10. X23 no change. X22 we need to put the 0 because it's not living. X11 is the living, that's why no value. And X2 is 15. Okay. And after that, we continue, we repeat again the process, calculate the non-basic variable by using formula of UI plus Vj equal to Cij, and then get all the value of U and all the value of V. After we do it, the basic, then we continue with the non-basic. Don't forget the formula for non-basic is UI plus Vj minus Cij. Then once you have update the calculation and then you check the optimality condition, yeah, you find the positive value or not. Yeah, minimization context or minimization problem is already optimum if no more positive value. Yeah, but as you can see the table, there is one variable that has a positive value. That is why it's not optimum yet. And the entering variable is x14. Because no more positive, so this is the only positive. X14 will become the entering variable. You can see here. After that, we need to make the construct. We need to construct the closed loop. Start from x14. Here, start from here, and end at this one. So x14 move down to x24. Why not move to x34? Because if from x14 to x34 and then to x31, then no more connection. That's why from x14 only until x24, and then go to the left x22, and then go up x12, and then go back to x14. So we know that the value to update is focus on the negative. Here we have 15 and 10. That's why we will select 10 as the value. So x14 later becomes plus 10. X24 minus 10 becomes 0. X23 no change. X31 also no change. X22 plus 10. X12 is plus 5. You see that x24 would become the living variable. And the result is this one. So this is the new result. Calculate again the total cost. The total cost will of course reduce, decreasing. Okay, after that, check the optimality condition, calculate the UI plus Vj minus C equal to Cij for basic variable here. Okay, once we calculate this, then we can continue non-basic variable by using the formula of UI plus Vj minus Cij. Okay, update the calculation and check positive or not. Based on this calculation, no more positive value. That's why the answer or the solution here is optimal already. Okay. Okay, since no positive, then the optimal solution is like this. The optimal cost is 435. So that is the step. If you refer to the regular simplex, then this method is quite easy. You don't need to implement many formula and also to do more calculation. No need. This one is very simple. Okay. So I think that's all. The topic for today. I will review again about this transportation model. First, transportation model is a special case of linear programming model. Special because usually the application is to transport the item from the sources to the destination. Each source has its own capacity and each destination has its own demand. And to solve the problem, first we need to check whether the problem is balance or not. Balance or not, we can see from the total cost compared to total capacity compares to total demand. Balance if total cost equal to total capacity. Yeah. If not equal, then not balance. If not balance, then you need to add dummy, whether dummy source. If total capacity less than the total demand, then we need to add dummy source. Or if total capacity more than the total demand, then we need to add dummy destination. Okay. After we make it balance, then we need to draw or to create the transportation table. After that, from the transportation table, you can start with determining the initial solution. You can use the northwest corner, least cost, or Vogel approximation method. And after you found the initial solution, then you continue to determine the optimal solution. And I always say to the student that when you determine the initial solution, please use the good method. Yeah, so the good method here, minimum least cost rule. Yeah, it's good if you use Vogel approximation method. Yeah, but if you use northwest, usually the solution is very bad. If the solution is bad, it needs more iteration until you reach the optimal solution. Takes time. So better to start with, let's say, Vogel or least cost, even though more difficult and takes more time compared to northwest. But in the optimal solution, you can get the solution fast. No need to you have more iteration. Yeah. Okay. So that is the transportation algorithm or transportation model. Yeah. But in the beginning, I have also explained to you that even though the transportation model usually dealing with transporting the item from sources to destination, but in the other application, we can also implement this transportation algorithm to solve production and inventory problem, including the scheduling problem. Okay, so I think that's all the explanation from me. So we can explore by solving several problems from the book.